there's a real key question in here in ability, and it's called the upfront contract. You might write to the left or underneath on that last question. There's something that all of you need to put in place, whether you're recruiting agents or you're selling to a buyer or a seller, and that is an upfront contract. Upfront contract states this: if I could I expect you to be ready to make a decision tonight if I met all of your needs? No one should be going out on that listing appointment or on the buy side. John and Mary, if I found the right home, met and could meet all of your terms, could I expect you to write an offer that night? We shouldn't be out in the vehicle. We shouldn't be at their home unless we know we have a good probability, if we meet their needs, we have to meet their needs, that they'll be ready to list with us that night. And then I would probably even follow up with, John, is there anything that would prevent you and I from moving forward that night if we did come out to list your home? It's called an upfront contract. We talk about, on the bottom here, asking your prospects if other agents have set listing appointments. That was our connection on here. It's very important that we have a process to take our prospects through. This is just an example and the depth of, if we want to work from a position of selectivity and abundance, that we take them through a process such as this. Maurice, do you have anything you want to add about that as far as getting into a greater level of control with your prospects and maybe how that's made a difference or impact on your business?
No, what you said there is critical, and that and the 8-step qualification or 8-step commitment by the seller. That 8th step, I am finding, it's costing me because I didn't pay attention to that immediately right away. But I'm definitely paying attention to it now, especially in this market.
What Maurice was referring to was the 8 steps to selling your home in a down market. What I teach my clients to do is take 8-step listings. An 8-step listing is simply a listing that will sell first in this market. And the 8th step that Maurice was referring to was setting realistic expectations. That first of all, that the sellers understand open houses don't sell homes, advertising doesn't sell homes. It's following the 8 steps and you exposing them to the top agents in the marketplace. That is very, very important. They need to understand if we're doing all of our other steps correctly, the home will sell first. We need to stick with our process. And asking these questions up front prior to going out will save us time and make sure that, or increase the likelihood if we deliver a dynamic 6-step listing presentation, that the sale will happen that night. It's very important that we watch our time on this. I want to talk about powerful presentations. I don't care what industry you're in. I actually coach multiple industries. I work with a lot of realtors. I do work other industries, and it doesn't matter what the industry. All of these steps apply, and including delivering a dynamic presentation. Now with realtors, we have 2 sides. We have the listing side, we have the buy side. Too often we think about a presentation on the listing side, we omit it on the buy side. Today we're actually going to expand on the listing side. But I will tell you there are 6 steps to delivering a dynamic presentation. Let's back up. If you effectively built rapport, and some of you have an idea now on the development areas you have to work and improve on your building rapport skills. If you pre-qualified hard, there's a buyer pre-qual sheet as well. If you pre-qualified hard, you set the upfront contract, and you deliver a dynamic presentation, the sale should be won. It's very important to understand that you should be assuming the sale as you go in. There should be no doubt in your mind that you need to follow your steps in your process. I want to start on Inform. In Inform, there's one key aspect that we need to sell first and foremost, and what is that? What did you say? Yourself. Absolutely. The number one first priority in the sales process is selling yourself. Why is that?
Because they want to work with you. They don't want to work with the company. They want to work with you.
And that's a broker owner that's saying that. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's absolutely right. Whether you're recruiting agents or you're working with buyers or sellers, the number one aspect that you need to sell is yourself. They will either buy or not buy, list or not list, come to your office or not based on you. So you need to sell yourself. And some of the key components you need to include in there on selling yourself are your values and your purpose, some of your background and experience, why you're doing what you're doing. Then we sell the company. Then we sell Realty Executives. We sell the brand. Very, very important. Why you're attached to the brand. The brand, key values and purpose as well. I will talk a lot about values and purpose. I will talk more about that tomorrow, why that's so important. There's a key mini bridge closing question. You need to write this down to include. Mini bridge closing questions are so important in this process. The first mini bridge closing question is, are there any questions about myself or Realty Executives that need an answer before moving forward? I'll say it again. Are there any questions regarding myself or Realty Executives that need an answer before moving forward? It's a very simple question. If they say yes, our goal here is to pull out objections before we ask for the sale. We want to remove them so when we come to the final ask, the sale is won. Generally, this is a very easy point. Most people don't have any questions. We're moving on. If they do, answer them. Very simple. Now we move to educate. By the way, this will be demonstrated by Maurice today and my friend Stu on the broker side tomorrow. Educate. This is where we educate our buyers and our sellers, and today I'm talking about the list and buy side. This is where we educate them on the listing side, why they need to choose the right realtor. We need to talk about staging our home. This is in the presentation where we tend to over-educate. Let's not bury them in this process, but let's talk about some of the tools of Realty Executives. The key tools that are used as a differentiator. Let's talk about market conditions, not your CMA. By the way, a lot of agents come out thinking they have their listing presentation and they have their CMA. It's going to be a while before I talk about the CMA, and you'll see why. So we're talking about the inventory, supply and demand. We're talking about what it is on staging your home, what's so important, pricing your home, all of that's so important. When we're done with educate, and we have to make the case that it's important, or there's a difference between working with an agent and an executive, and Realty Executives has done a phenomenal job on providing all the marketing material on there. The mini bridge closing question you need to write down before going to Inspire is, can you see the importance of working with the right realtor and company in this market? And for some of you guys that are outside of real estate, we can adjust the language. It's the same thing as you're going through. We'll just change the language a little bit. Can you see the importance of working with the right realtor and company in this market? If they say yes, we move on. If they say, well, I'm not sure, we need to pause. Let's talk about this. What is it that you're not sure about? Let's not pile up our objections at the end so we can't close the sale. Let's pull them out in steps so we can manage and isolate them at that time. Let's clarify, what is it that you're not sure about? Let's go back and repeat some of the information. By the way, in Educate, when you ask them what are your 3 greatest needs, this is where you solve them. Even if you don't have a PowerPoint slide, you don't have a page about this, this is where you need to show them where and how you solve their problems. Don't forget that. If you do, we're going to miss a key step. Make sure you answer those 3 greatest needs in the Educate section. If they say yes, they see the importance of working with the right realtor and the right company, now we move to Inspire. Inspire is a couple of aspects. First of all, it's the whole presentation. It's how you are packaging it. Is it a binder? Is it a PowerPoint? There's no right or wrong. It's the visuals, though, that you attach with the presentation. It's also your voice and tonality, your pace matching, again, behavioral selling with your prospect. If you're a high driver and the person is more of a steady compliant, you better slow down. You need to take 500 milligrams of Valium. You need to do 100 push-ups. You need to relax or you'll overwhelm them. If they're a driver and you're a relaxed, steady, you're gonna lose their interest. You need to move to their pace. You need to blend toward them. So part of Inspire is blending toward them. It's also your pace and tonality, and it's the visuals you use. Here's the one key aspect: testimonies. You need to include testimonies in here. We'll talk about, from a behavioral selling standpoint, you modify your presentation based on their behavior. One behavior that loves testimonies are influencers, and you should actually have more testimonies. But testimonies are so important to have. We're going to see, we'll let you quiz our examples later to see if all these steps are in there. Testimonies are powerful because you connect that individual with them. And here's your key mini bridge closing question before you move to compare. Mini bridge closing question is, can you see yourself benefiting like our clients have? Now, if they say no, or I'm not sure, that's why we want to pull this out. We want to stop and find out why. If they say yes, you are one step closer to a sale. Remember, you asked them all the pre-qual questions. You also did the upfront contract and asked them, could I expect you to move forward if I met your needs? Is there anything that would prevent us from moving forward? Now we're taking them through the presentation. Once we've done that, I haven't even talked sale price of the house yet. You're probably saying, what are you doing? Where are you going? Just hang with me, okay? Here we go. Compare. There's a madness to the method. Compare, the next step. It's in compare that we do one thing first, and that is eliminate our competition without mentioning them. And your key in there is your feature benefit statement. Realty Executives has the 10 steps why to be an executive. There's a number of different ways they have that verbalized. Pull that out. As owners, you need to use that on the recruit side. You'll see that tomorrow. You need to know what separates you from your competition. In fact, you need to know that right now. If you're out and about, you're networking, and somebody says, gosh, I've got 5 realtors who want to list my house. Why should I choose you? You need to be ready with that answer. Somebody comes to me and says, Rich, there's 300,000 sales coaching companies. Now, I don't know if that's true. I think there was 30,000 when I started the company in 2004. I'm just guessing there's 300,000 now with the market, right? Everybody's a sales coach now. It doesn't matter, because I know what sets me apart from the rest. And the same for you. We should love competition. We need to know our features and the benefits attached with that. And if you have those down right, and this is where you share them, this is where you should eliminate your competition. And your next mini bridge closing question is, do you see what separates us from our competition? This is whether you're a broker in recruiting, whether you're working with a seller. Do you see what separates us from our competition? Yeah, kind of, I don't know, Keller Williams, they got all the flash, right? Great, let's stop and talk about that. And I'll talk in objection handling about identifying, isolating, and overcoming the sale. It's very important, though, that we ask that question. Now we pull out the CMA. By the way, if you have a packet-bound listing presentation or a PowerPoint, your CMA should be separate, and if they don't list with you that night, it comes home with you. It comes home with you because that is your intellectual material, and that stays with you. Now, the packet can obviously stay with them. That puts us in a position of strength. Same with your commission plans. That should stay with you. You don't want them to shop that. That's not what we're here to do.